Disclaimer, I can't stress this enough. It's just my thoughts, commentary, opinions. We're going to be talking about a lot of scientific facts regarding these plants, but I can't stress enough if you are considering taking any kind of plant medicine, you need to check, especially if you are on medications, if you take anything. So I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm probably going to say that like 100 times. But I came up with I think I've done a list. It was either 10 or 12. I know it wasn't 11, and it was very, very similar to what we're going to talk about tonight, but I'm pretty proud of this list. I think it's very comprehensive and everything in this list is easy to grow, in my opinion. Like, I think these could all be grown by first year gardeners. Hi, Javier, how are you? And of course, there's so many, but and when you hear everything that all of these plants do, you'll understand why I picked them. I was like, geez, I can only think of one ailment that these don't cover. That one of them probably does, really, but like I didn't see it written down when I'm like researching, and that was like vertigo or dizziness. But like I said, I bet maybe one of them actually is covered. So I'm going to make an edited video. I keep talking about that. I really am going to have an edited video that will be more succinct, and I'll put in that video the studies or some studies. In this script, I bring up studies a lot, so I didn't really write down the sites. Hey, Homer, how are you doing? I think that we could all, I don't know. I needed a distraction. It helped like to force myself to not look at anything that's going on for a while today. And then I don't know, I wasn't gonna get on here and then I decided I wanted to. So I'm not giving any medical advice, okay? I'm gonna be talking about like medical things a lot, but I can't stress it enough. With every single one of these, there could be allergic or adverse reactions. Just because something is a very usually safe plant or herb or flower, absolutely anything you put in or on your body, one could react to. So that's just important to keep in mind. And there's certain plants like, in the mint family, like if you have reacted to a plant in the mint family, then you should probably steer clear of other plants in the mint family. Hi, Razor, how are you doing? Homer Dude had a rough afternoon, but still doing. I'm sorry to hear that, Homer Dude. Oh, Grandpa sent a bronze medal. I totally missed that. Thank you so much, Grandpa. Homer, I hope that you have a much better day tomorrow. And yeah. Maybe, I don't know if any of this will help anybody tonight, but I like just listen to this stuff. It's so exciting. When I started to like one of these plants I've talked about a lot, the toothache plant, I didn't even know now it's known as natural Botox. We'll get to it. It's the like fourth one. But once again, I'm not giving medical advice. I've grown all of these several times, and they're all easy to grow. And a few of them are even perennials in most zones in the US. Oh, good, Marty. Not really, job cab. I don't have the budget for Sephora. Came home to my girlfriend having an episode and ended up calling the ambulance to come get her so she could get checked out. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hummer dude. Oh gosh, I hope that she's okay. I'm sure that's very stressful for you. I'm so sorry. Hi, Mohammed. How are you? I mean, I just, everything's so difficult for everybody. I really, really do feel for you, Homer, dude. We're all struggling. And I don't, that sounded almost dismissive in a way, but you know what I mean? I just know that like everybody is okay. So I want to say that these can be used or kept for future use. Like even if you yourself aren't planning on growing them this year, I think that having this kind of herbal medicine seeds on hand could be a great resource for bartering and or trading when you know what might happen, when we might not have stores like at Walmart and Lowe's to go get our seeds from or Amazon to buy our seeds from. So she started dealing with epilepsy a couple of years ago, had 2 bad episodes a day, probably the worst I've seen her deal with. Oh my gosh, Homer, I am so sorry to hear that. Gosh. Well, I'll definitely be keeping her in my thoughts and you too. Gosh, that's really rough. I don't know that much about it, but from what I do know, I'm sure that's like incredibly scary, you know? And then a lot of the medicines used to treat seizures and epilepsy, although they're great and I'm glad they're there for people, they also have their host of side effects. I had an aunt that had to take epilepsy drugs. Well, I've had more ED related issues whenever your life goes away. Marty, okay, you can you can block Marty. He's talking about ED. Runs in the family, but she didn't start dealing with it till 3 or 4 years ago. Oh wow, that's scary too to just have it happen in your adulthood like that. I'm so sorry. So once again, I am not giving medical advice. Seriously. My number one, this is in like kind of my order of favorites, but it's not really like, don't look at it as a medicinal thing. Lemon balm. It's a plant in the mint family. Hey, Fendi. It is so awesome. I think it's extremely refreshing. It's my favorite plant to grab when I'm outside and like just crush up the leaves and rub it on your skin, especially pulse points, and it really does help deter bad bugs. Like it was my favorite. I would rather use that than bug spray, honestly. It's known for its calming and soothing effects, and it is attributed to the antioxidants in it as well as tons of anti-inflammatory phenolic compounds. I'm sorry, I need to look up a lot of how to like say these words before I make the edited video. I'm going to look up pronunciations of a lot of these things and make sure. And flavonoids, as well as giving relief for digestive issues, PMS symptoms, anxiety, sleep issues, and sorry, there are compounds like rosmarinic and caffeic acids, which are thought to help with stress, digestive issues, and possibly cognitive functioning. Isn't that like everything? It's literally everything. I'm sorry, I said digestive issues twice. I'm crossing one out. It literally, digestive issues, PMS, anxiety, sleep issues. I guess it doesn't say pain specifically, so it helps with memory and even fighting bacteria and viruses. So it's antiviral and what is listen to me. You can tell it's getting late. She's my old lady. She deals with a couple health complications. She just had some bad luck over the years. Yeah, it sounds like it. You can always vent in here. It's just since came on here a little late, I do want to get through my notes, and then when I'm done, I'm going to be in the chat more just so everybody knows. Chocolate has tons of flavonoids. Yeah, a lot of these talk about the flavanols or flavonoids, a lot of them. And it just makes you think when you hear about how beneficial these herbs and plants are. And yeah, a lot of people aren't going to take a ton of like mint in particular has a bunch of good vitamins, but you usually don't use a cup of that in a recipe. That would be too overpowering. But if we just use them more often, like I really do think they would be filling in a lot more gaps. People look at like especially your dried herbs as just for flavor. They really are packed. Even some herbs have more good stuff in them when they're dried. And if you add a few tablespoons of like oregano to your spaghetti sauce when you make spaghetti, and I just made it tonight and I didn't, well, actually, I added Italian seasoning, but I didn't add like a ton of it. But like, it's actually not a bad thing to like over season your food when you learn about all this good stuff in here. And like, I didn't put any anti-cancer. More than half of these said anti-cancer or they're suspected to have anti-cancer properties. It is amazing what we can get from nature, and I really do believe that we have everything we need in nature. I have not heard of black lava sea salt. That's funny because I love salt and I love different kinds of salt, but 18 out of cold. Oh, Homer, I remember you mentioning that before. Gosh. Well, I'm sure she blesses you, but I mean, I'm sure you really bless her. That's so nice that she has a partner like you. Most of the time men bounce. But yeah, I had to take it there. Hi, Lon, how are you? Hi, Goldie. Um, so I need to get back on track with that. It can help with headaches too. We're still talking about one herb, okay? One plant, lemon balm. It's extremely easy to establish. It's a perennial in most zones, and it's just such a lovely plant to grow. And like I said, since it kind of deters bugs, I never had lemon balm get ate up by bugs. That's what a lot of these like very fragrant herbs, the bugs don't go near them because they don't like those strong smells. And it's just, oh, I love it so much. So I never ever treated any of my herbs with any insecticides or anything like that, especially because I was using them daily almost to rub on my skin and using tea. And I'm going to make another video specifically how to use all of these, okay? Because if I would have went into the usage directions, because some stuff is like you are supposed to, make it with cold water, and not everything is as simple as steeping it in hot water. Yep, she shares your age, I believe, Homer said. Oh, Homer. I'm really glad that I appreciate you opening up about it because I'd rather know than not know, you know? Um, AI mode. Did I posted this video in my community tab talking about how AI has their own like Facebook, but humans can't join. It's like social media for AI only. You guys should go check that out and see what the most liked post is. I just want you to go see it for yourselves. And I love that chick so much. Sarah Holcomb is her name. I love her and she needs to blow up. She does such good videos. She's so funny. She's so talented. No, Homer, dude, I'm not. That's why I was like trying to like get back into my notes. I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate you opening up, but no, I'm really sorry to hear all that. I almost I for some reason it just popped into my head. I almost wonder if it's like the time of year. Just whenever I've known people to have real acute health issues, a lot of times it had some kind of like calendar to it. But you don't ever feel bad. Nobody feel bad. Somebody said, "Can I open up about something?" I don't think they ended up saying anything. I want everybody to feel like they can say whatever they want. "Hi, John, how are you?" You know what I mean. Whatever you want within I don't consider anything trauma dumping because I do that all the time here on my channel. Okay, let's just recap this. Lemon balm, literally, it's like it can fight bacteria and viruses. It can help with Alzheimer's. It's been like studied before because it's so good with helping brain functioning, sleep issues, digestive issues, PMS cramps. There's so many good things in this. Other studies shows it helps with insomnia when taken as a tea 2 times daily for 15 days. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce a lot of these things. I'm just gonna sound like an idiot if I try. Rosmarinic, there we go. Rosmarinic acid has properties that are pain relieving in conjunction with anti-inflammatory. It relaxes muscles and ease tension. There is proof through a study that this increases GABA in the brain. If you didn't know what GABA is, it is used a lot for like mood. I don't want to say mood disorders. It's even recommended for people on the autism spectrum, which isn't a mood disorder. But that's so cool that it can increase your own GABA production. That is huge. And a big warning with lemon balm is not to take it if you're taking thyroid medications. And I'm going to say that a lot. Like if you're taking any medications, please don't like run to these things thinking that they're extra safe just because it seems more safe since it's a plant. A lot of the medicines we take are synthesized compounds that are derived from these plants, and they do have bad side effects sometimes too, right? You have to take it seriously. Oh, hey Keith, how are you doing? Okay. Um, I'm talking about hyssop later in here if you're still in here. Oh, hi, Wolf. How are you? And Homer, there's one herb that like causes seizures, and I didn't even know. Like I've taken it, not as much as some other ones, but I've taken it quite a lot. And when I saw that it can cause seizures, like it, wow, I haven't seen. I'm sure there's other herbs that do that, but I haven't seen one other one that does. So number two, marshmallow. I talk about this all the time. Super easy. It's a perennial once again in most zones here in our country. This is a demulcent, meaning it has the ability to soothe mucous membranes by like secreting the substance that basically soothes irritation, creating a protective layer in the membranes. This is the way I look at it, and I could be wrong. I look at it as like a good mucus because like we do have mucous membranes for a reason, right? Sick and you're secreting a lot of mucus. This just like comes in there. It's almost like expectorant properties, and then it is soothing. If you have a sore throat, I like to drink this tea that medicinal teas has, but When I make it at home, I do the cold infusion, so, and then I'm making that tea, making it with hot water like traditional tea. So anyways, it's called mucilage, the compound that makes your mucous membranes, which you have mucous membranes all over your body. Think about it. It's not just like your mouth and your throat, it's also your digestive tract. So this can help with like if I have a stomach ache, I reach for the marshmallow leaf. The root has the most mucilage in, and marshmallow may slow absorption of other medicines. So you need to take it like an hour apart from any other medicine. I'm in Kentucky. They make you show ID for some meds over the counter now, Lone Wolf said. Yeah, I'm sure. I was excited to see. I thought that they stopped selling NAC, and they didn't. They started selling it again, but that's a supplement. That's a good night, girly friend. My dog's going to bed. I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay. I could talk about marshmallow all day, but like, well, I'll share a lot of my marshmallow plants with you guys. I have the packet. This is what it looks like. Um, Most of my packets don't have pictures of the plant on it. Also, um, Homer dude, are you still in here? I hope I wasn't being rude. Now I feel like I was being rude, like moving along, but I hope you understand. I'm just like I usually get it through the script and then I'll like sit in the chat and talk more in the chat. And not that I'm expecting you all to sit there and wait for me to get through my script every time. I don't mean it like that either. So, marshmallow plant is where marshmallows originally came from. And they're not the kind of consistency we know of now. They're spongier and it's something that they derived from the roots of that plant, which was used as a lozenge. It was like a medicinal thing when it came out, and then they discovered that with gelatin and, some extra flavors and sugar, it could be a cool treat. And that's how marshmallows came about. Cold Country Original said, I know. Oh, thank you. It's like ice here. It's really scary how icy it is. It's like you can't walk around the cars. Okay, I have 11, and this is the third one, thyme. A lot of people don't realize how medicinal thyme is. It's amazing. Thyme is so amazing. I can't stress enough how amazing thyme is. I don't know why I didn't make it to number one. Hey, TWC, how are you doing? It's antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. It's everything. It Thymol is like the active compound, and there is Benefit is what it's called, Benefit. It's the only cleaner approved by the EPA to mitigate mold. That is botanical, okay? It is amazing. I used it in the first house we lived in. It eliminates 99.9% of mold, bacteria, fungal spores. Full of anti-inflammatories, antioxidants. I keep wanting to say anxieties. Listen to me, which reduce inflammation radicals and reduces oxidative stress in your body. It helps with respiratory relief, digestive issues, even mood and cognitive functioning. And it's like good for your skin, overall immune support, of course. I look at it as an astringent. It's like when you drink it, it has like it's very astringent, which when you feel like you're coming down with something, I like that. It's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but time is amazing. Hi, Jim. How are you? How are you doing, TWC? Oh, you said been good. That's good. And it's easy to grow. I have had trouble getting it like my experience with time has been like once it takes off and is established, it just takes off, you'll never have to worry about it again. But it can be a little bit more finicky than like lemon balm. But it is so amazing if you thank you, don't cap. If you have little places to grow, few places to grow, and you want like to get you can use that in so many foods, and it is so medicinal. A sprig of thyme with the marshmallow was like one of my favorite teas. Paracress is number 4, which is also known as a toothache plant or electric daisy. It is known for its pain relieving, numbing properties. If you guys have never bitten into these, I have. I mean, I've grown it, obviously. And even after it's been dried for a few years, it is amazing. I I think it works better than is it Ambisol, the gel that you put on it, like teeth for tooth pains, that kind of Oragel stuff, it works better than that. Like, it's sincerely amazing. You bite down on it and you feel it immediately, like where it touches, and then the more it mixes with your saliva and you like swallow, then it gets in the back of your throat. It's just absolutely amazing. And apparently now it's being used more and more for skincare because it's known as natural Botox or vegan Botox. There's a compound spilanthol, which causes this anti-inflammatory effect, which also stimulates collagen production, which is huge. You stop producing collagen sometime in your 30s. And let's see. I guess that's also what causes the numbing, that spilanthol. Okay, moving along. I'm trying to hurry because I really do want to get in the chat. Number 5 is calendula. Calendula is famous for skincare benefits, but it can also be used as tea, and it's very soothing in the same way for, the inside of your body as it is for your skin. I think it is amazing. It's so easy to grow. Probably one of the 5 easiest flowers to grow because this is a beautiful flower. If you don't know what calendula is, there's so many different varieties. I've grown at least 6 of them. The petals are super soft, so soft that like you feel like resin like residue on your fingers after handling them. And that's like the leaves and the flower petals. I said petals, the leaves as well. And it is in tons of stuff for the skin, which is great. I've made a lot of salves with it, but it also helps with immune health and digestive issues, specifically heartburn, peptic ulcers, GERD, and IBD. It's been used since ancient Greece, you guys. Calendula has provided so much joy and relief for gynecological and ocular issues, in addition to digestive and skin issues. One study said calendula has a myriad of capabilities as traditional medicine: flavonoids, triterpenoids, glycosides, saponins, carotenoids, and volatile oil, amino acids, steroids, sterols, and quinines, possibly being anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, as well as everything else. That's what I put. Okay, I need to fix that note. That was kind of a weird way to end that. But, it's like, a lot of people just think it's to soothe your skin. It really is. It's amazing. Okay, we're halfway through. Chamomile, and I'm talking about German chamomile. I guess there's Roman, but I'm pretty sure German is much more medicinal. And, okay, I should say this halfway through, not giving medical advice. Chamomile is best known for calming effects and to help promote good sleep. Probably equally well known for its soothing effects is on the skin as well. It's the same thing as calendula, kind of. Flavonoids are attributed to most of the benefits, which also provide immune support and can be helpful in management of certain chronic conditions like diabetes and the prevention of osteoporosis. Now, a lot of these were anti-diabetic. I don't ever recall seeing that. We don't just give admins away. Do you mean make you a moderator? It is, something. What else was anti-diabetic? I think it was hyssop and, the last few ones. It really makes you think, if we just all had more herbal medicine or herbs, period, in our lives, would we be better off processing all this stuff? And I've also heard that, I don't think Time said anti-diabetic. No, I wrote it down when it did say that. Um, I'm trying not to say 7 is sweet wormwood. This is also something I've talked about a lot. There's 2 kinds of wormwood, and the other kind is what they use to make absinthe, and sweet wormwood is like, I thought it was most popular for the anti-parasitic properties. You hear about it a lot. No, I don't talk about cinnamon and this, but that is helpful for blood sugar. Is that what you're saying, gluten is poison? And I've heard apple cider vinegar, if you take like an ounce of that a day, it helps your, and I always tell myself I'm gonna do that. That's one of those things I never really do. But yes, it's just sweet wormwood, often used in conjunction with clove for treatment of worms. Oh, hi, FCT. I'm talking about my 11 favorite medicinal herbs, but I'm not giving a medical advice. And I'm already at, gosh, I'm at number 7. Sweet wormwood was used to treat malaria. Oh, B Weeks, thank you for joining the memberships. Thank you so much. I thought absinthe was hallucinogenic when you drink it. Okay, so it's not really, right? It, I wanna say what I've heard I've never had it, but I've heard it thank you so much, B Weeks. I've heard it described as like mushrooms, where it's not gonna make you hallucinate, but it will enhance the sensory experience. Anybody in the chat that knows more about it, let me know. I have grown it before. I don't have the packet, but like, yeah, it's a little bit more like of a, I don't want to say like bluish green hue than the sweet wormwood. I am talking about hyssop later, Jeremy, but right now we're talking about wormwood. And it was used to treat malaria for a long time, even in Vietnam. Isn't that amazing? The medicine they have, or at least some of the medicine they have to treat malaria now, is like derived from wormwood. I'm gonna say wormwood. It has antiviral and antimicrobial properties. So, okay, that's the word I was searching for earlier. So, it can treat a variety of viruses and bacteria, possibly. It's antipyretic, which means it's a fever reducer. And these properties and anti-inflammatories in it um, aid in pain relief. It has also been used for centuries as an antiparasitic. It deters bugs. It's a very strong smell. If you've never smelled sweet wormwood, you're either going to love it or hate it. I don't really think there's any in between. And it did grow on me though. I didn't like it and then I liked it more, especially after you really like it. Yeah, once again, bugs don't go like anywhere near it. So it's a good companion plant, but you need to be careful in the same way that bugs don't like strong smelling plants. I've also found that a lot of the strongest smelling plants you don't wanna put them near a lot of a lot of plants don't like being near them, and you shouldn't put these really strong smelling plants next to each other, you should try to not do that. Sweet wormwood can be used to make wreaths too. They're shown as psychoactive property in absinthe, I believe, right, but am I right, Boston? You don't have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right that it doesn't hallucinate. Not talking about mint yet, chill. We are just talking about wormwood. And now I'm going to talk about feverfew, which is the eighth one. Parthenolide is thought to be the compound responsible for most of the benefits people have been gaining from this plant for centuries, mostly to treat chronic migraines. Now, it does say feverfew because of what you think, like people thought it treated fevers, but really it's been used mostly to treat chronic migraines. But there is something called post feverfew syndrome where you can get withdrawals after stopping it and I'm sure that happens with other herbs. That's just really interesting to me. I hadn't heard of that with like any of these other herbs. Now, I know that happens with substances. And Excedrin migraine is especially bad about like rebound. I know that's not the same as withdrawal, but you just really have to be careful when you're taking anything on a regular basis and really watch for your symptoms when you back off of that or stop that. And even when things say not to taper off, I'm just of the mind like I taper everything. Okay. So it was nicknamed medieval aspirin and anti-inflammatory. All of these are anti-inflammatory. We all need that as much as we can get. And it's like inflammation, chronic inflammation in the body leads to a lot more chronic illness than I think any modern doctor is gonna ever try to like teach us about or even learn about themselves. Number 9 is hyssop. So true hyssop is what can cause seizures, even in adults, even in some people with no history of seizures. That's pretty scary. So you need to be really careful, especially when it comes to things like this, just because you see it has lots of benefits. Don't try to take as much of it as you can at once. You should always ease into things, especially if you've never had them before. Now, this is a biblical herb. A lot of people know about it from the Bible. It has a variety of uses, and true hyssop is blue. One of the only blue is the rarest flower color. And of course, it's kind of like a purplish violet blue, but I have one other kind. I want to get anise hyssop, which is I've just heard a lot of good things about anise hyssop and as far as medical benefits. Agastache was the orange and reddish kind. And so I've grown those. I've used them in tea. It's known to treat a variety of ailments from coughs to earaches and bloating. Penocampone. I'm probably saying that wrong. Pinocampone is known to help open airways. And in studies where they were trying to find which natural remedy worked the best, it was one of the most effective at treating asthma. Once this is not medical advice, please don't ever like go get an herb in lieu of asthma medicine. It is known as an expectorant and has anti-inflammatory properties. Studies have also shown that it may stop ulcers from forming because it inhibits the chemicals that form them in your stomach. So that's neat. It's in the mint family as well. Mint is number 10, well known for treating digestive issues, even showing promise as an IBS treatment. In studies, the menthol in mint was attributed to IBS relief, and a few studies have shown to increase brain function and memory from just smelling essential oils, mint essential oils. It's full of nutrients. If you really like it and you can eat a lot of it, once again, people could even be allergic to mint. Just change your diet to whole foods. Wormwood is good for certain ailments, as are mushrooms. Go natural as much as you can. I totally agree with that, Chill. If we all ate whole foods, um, well, FCT, what are you talking about? You can mention what I believe. What are you talking about? QAT. I'm sorry, I'm not following. Thank you, Lone Wolf. So mint, it had the least amount of information written down on it. I think we all know it's good for, fresh breath. It's a good mouse deterrent, a good bug deterrent. There's so many kinds of mint. I personally would grow more mint if it wasn't as invasive as it is. You should grow it in a container. It's okay to put it in a flower bed if you don't mind dealing with it the rest of your life. But dill is the last one. Yes, dill. QAT is to eat a lot of. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you, FCT. Studies have shown that dill may manage diabetes. So this is the other anti-diabetic. The flavonoids. Um, I think I didn't write it down. Hyssop had flavonoids have been shown to reduce risk of heart disease and stroke. Studies also show improvement in overall heart health when, you eat dill a lot. It's full of vitamins, minerals, anti-inflammatory compounds, and it's shown to help with insomnia, period cramps, and when studied in comparison to oxytocin given during labor, dill helped women with pain and anxiety during labor more than oxytocin supplementation. I thought that was pretty cool. It is amazing. It may help with bone health and digestive issues. Now, whenever my personal experience has been dill and thyme. Depending, especially if it's like cold related or sinus related, it also helps me with headaches. But, you won't really see that mentioned that much. But also keep in mind when I'm making a tea, I usually put at least like five things in it. But it's been a few years since I've had an herb garden where I had all of these and I could just walk around and pick them. And I'm really looking forward to that. And it's just like I said, the only burdock root is really helpful, yes. Okay, isn't that an anti-parasitic or what is it good for, Cliff? I've taken burdock tincture before, but I've never like grown it. Isn't that a huge plant? Thank you for the 100, honey. Um, I get so excited when it comes to being able to grow these things. And then I saw like paracress being called the vegan Botox now. I'm like, even if you don't have tons of land. If you find a specialty crop to grow and you're good at growing it, especially if you can harvest it a few times, that's the kind of thing I could grow that for like 8 months and probably harvest it. I don't know how many times because it is very short and you're harvesting the flowers from it. And the flowers are kind of funny. They're like these little round or like oblong kind of. They don't have petals. But anyways, and I'm not saying that I'm gonna make money selling paracress this year, but, like, it's a possibility that, like, because of the popularity of it, I might be able to sell more of it. I might be able to unload a few pounds of it off to one supplier, maybe. I've never done that before. I'm talking like I've done that before, I haven't. Or maybe sell smaller quantities to people who are interested in it, and making their own skincare out of it, and I've always wanted to apprentice. I'm not an herbalist. I would love to be under an herbalist for a year and really do the clinical hours you're supposed to complete and everything because I know I don't know enough to help people. And one thing I really worry about is that somebody taking pharmaceuticals would be injured. And I would hate to say I don't want to have anybody come to help. for help. I don't wanna say clients, that just sounds or patients. I wouldn't wanna help anybody out that's on pharmaceuticals, just in case, but then I wouldn't wanna shut everybody out that's on pharmaceuticals either. So, let me see, how long was that? 35 minutes, okay. I'm going to do an edited video, and it will have a lot of studies when I referenced studies in these notes because it is exciting. And it feels like every time I look these things up, there's more interest in herbal medicine. And there's more than just saying these have been used for thousands of years for A, B, and C, but don't use it yourself because we don't know if it's safe for the human body. Like mm, uh, you might not look at something like dill or thyme as medicinal. And that's part of why so many of us have such bad chronic health issues is because they've taken that away from us and made us think that things don't have value because it's like something that grows out of the ground and it's so easy and it's so such a little minute amount. But think about the vitamins you take. It's just like I take those gummy vitamins. It's just like one or two gummies. Like how you eat that many. That'd be easy to eat that much, few grams of herbs every day. And I do think that it makes a huge difference. I know that it does. And if I had to pick just one, and I've seen lots of other people seem to pick lemon balm. If you have to pick just one herb to grow, and I'm not going to try to make it out to seem like it's like a panacea or anything, but it's just so great and it's my favorite. And yeah, I do want to become an herbalist, Miss. Well, I hope everybody is having a great night. Thank you for joining again, B Weeks, if you're still in here. I'm going to sit around for a few minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'm just going to ramble on a little bit. And I mentioned thyme is like antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. It's really amazing. There's not tons of stuff that's all of that. And the benefit I got from, I think I got it straight from the company. It was like cheaper than ordering it from Amazon. We moved into a house that had, mold in the kitchen cabinets, but there was like, you had to pull the drawers out, and then it was like along the side of the drawers. And hi, Silver Star, how are you? And so I wanted to make sure that we were expecting a baby and wanted to make sure that we got all of that. And at the same time, didn't want to use any harsh chemicals on it. And that it does not have a pleasant smell. Ugh. But I mean, it was tolerable. It's very plant-like, but yeah, once again, Benefect is the only EPA approved cleaner to mitigate mold that is botanical. So if you're in, and I just look at it, it eliminates 99.9% of mold, bacteria, and fungal spores. So yeah, thyme is what I'm talking about. And the chemical, I'm sorry, the cleaning product Benefit. What do you think of high protein diet regardless of supplements? Well, chill. The way I feel about all diets is like it really is a case by case basis. I do think protein is very important and it's a lot more important than a lot of people. I basically think it's like I mean protein, fat, and then we should have very few carbs. Most carbs in our diets are bad. But I'm But I think, protein is very important, especially when you are trying to put on some muscle. But yeah, I think that we will never know the truth, but there's something about, I don't know if it's blood type, if it's your genetic heritage, but I think that, like, hi Jake, how are you? I think that everybody has their own ideal diet, but it's never going to be one standard diet for the whole human race. I think a lot of it has to do with like your ancestry, perhaps. Or maybe not, maybe not. Maybe it's just your blood type. And it is so interesting how the gut functions and how much they're figuring out about the gut. Did you know that your gut has the second amount? You have neurons in your gut, second to your brain. You have a lot of neurons in your gut. So I do think a lot of the issues we see with people. are tied to medical issues and specifically issues in the gut, and it's so understudied, but they do well, I'm not gonna stand up for anything. They do seem to be paying more attention to the gut, and I saw years ago they were coming up with they called it a vaccine, although I don't know how it would be that, but it was basically C. difficile. It was um, or it was hold on, it wasn't C. difficile. That's a bad thing. Basically, there was a vaccine to treat autism symptoms, and it was a probiotic in a shot, and I don't know what happened with that, but yes, the gut-brain connection. It is huge, and I think a lot of when I'm talking lately, I feel dumbed down, or I know my attention span is worse than it used to be. But a lot of that, it does have to do with diet, and I'm sure, we would all be most of us would be better off if we ate more whole foods. And I used to be of the mind that, fruit doesn't have that much vitamins because my mom taught me that, "Oh, it's just full of water." She would say that a lot, "It's just a bunch of water," more so about, lettuce than fruit. She would encourage us to eat fruit, but, I don't know, I just grew up thinking there's not that many nutrients, and then I learned about structured weeks. I like that. That's a good way to say it. Just eat sauerkraut. Yes, Matthew. Some people are very sensitive to fermented foods, even though fermented foods are great, but some people really need to be careful. Or is it the histamines? I believe if you're sensitive to histamines, you need to steer clear of fermentation, but you can ease your way into it too. Have you heard of the GAPS diet? Matthew Boston said. But yeah, this is something I tell myself since New Year's I was going to start eating really good and do a weekly video where I show my dinners at least and hold myself accountable for and I've been eating like crap and I've been through times where it's really good, no GMOs, mostly organic. But who can afford that now? I mean, that was years ago. Alkaline diet, just do that, Matthew said. Does that work for you, Matthew? I was deadlifting earlier and I loaded my oh dear baby fart. Well, now I feel bad about Homer. I feel like he was stressed out and I should have sat and talked to him. Yeah, I didn't want to be on here for very long because I have an appointment in the morning and fermented food does wonders but can wreak havoc. Yes, exactly, chill. It one of yourself reacting to it, unless you're allergic, of course. Usually you just need to really ease your way. I mean, everybody should. If you're introducing fermented foods into your diet, you should ease your way into it. There's this brand called Bubby's, or is it Bubba's Pickles. If you ever see those and they're kind of expensive, I've only bought them once. And honestly, I didn't love them, but I don't think any fermented pickles would taste like what we're used to, Bubby's. Okay. And I believe, yeah, I saw somebody get kombucha, that Synergy brand from the store, and they started their own SCOBY, which is the big bacteria thing in kombucha. You can buy, if it's a good brand, you can buy stuff like that and start your own yogurt. I've only done kefir and sauerkraut. If you guys don't know what kefir are, what kind of grains is that? See, I can't even remember. It's been so long. It's you just add water to these little grains, and it's gosh, I have Crohn's and lupus, so I'm planning an herb garden this spring. Oh, bee weeks. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am. That sounds awful. I have a lot of health issues, and I had a hysterectomy last year. That was just part of my health issues, but gardening really has done so much for me. And I couldn't garden last year because my surgery was in April. Just keep it simple. Stuff gets expensive. Matthew, yeah, you're right. That's another thing. Whole Foods really, I could live off of just a few things like potatoes, cucumbers. So excited I found your page. Oh, B Weeks, that makes me so happy. Thank you. Just so you know, B, I want you to know I have talked about some political stuff. I welcome everybody. I personally am not I look at what's going on as it's we're meant to be here now, but I made some content about ice. I know it's divisive, and I just don't want you to think that gonna do that. But I might. There's not okay. I'm not saying I'm never gonna use my page. I'm kind of all over the place on my page. I guess that's the way I should say it. But I just hope that everybody takes what they want and leaves the rest, you know? Least financial services crypto. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I have a PCOS and I've found like there's so many supplements that help so much with PCOS. It's the number one cause of infertility in women in the US. And it's like when you go to the doctor, they don't do anything about it unless you literally don't have a period, and then they might give you some drugs to kickstart your body to have your period. But like well, okay, some doctors probably recommend the diet. No doctor I ever went to would. They wouldn't even take me seriously. Greg Anderson said Boston George, cool name. Anna, I was here for the whole thing, just listening. You did well. Anna, well, I know I've asked you this before, and you know I forgot. What would you choose if you could pick one herb, if you don't mind answering? And thank you. I was thinking about you. I was like, I wonder if Anna would add anything to this hyssop. I didn't know that thing about seizures until tonight, Anna. It's like I know I've looked up hyssop before. I don't grow anything without looking it up and like reading a lot about it. But yeah, there's tons more. Oh, here's the absinthe. It's literally, it says absinthe wormwood on it. That's pretty much how the sweet wormwood looks. I want to say the sweet wormwood is just like a shade darker green, you know? But there's tons, tons, tons more. Like I've never grown St. John's wort, and like I've grown white sage. I love to smudge with this, but it's not easy to grow. Lemon balm because I have stress, but I always pick anise hyssop in the bee balm. Yes, okay. I remember you saying that bee balm bergamot. Yes, bee balm is so beautiful, and I grew that the first time. It was so funny. I forgot what it was, and I thought that it was mint, because you know it's in, isn't it in the mint family, right? It has square stems, right? Am I wrong? And like it was so funny to me. I thought it was mint until it got like yay high. I was like, that's not mint. And that's what happens when you grow a lot of different things, but that's also a good thing. Did you get the jibby jab? Oh, no, chill. No, I did not. I had already been injured, and I am not anti I'm not anti anything, okay? It's just I was injured by preventative medicine twice in my life. So by the time that happened, I was like, no, I'm not getting any like new ones. The only ones I would get were ones that have been around a long time that I haven't reacted to. Yes, mint and citrus with oregano. Oh, that sounds so good. Yes, oregano. Okay, oregano is kind of like thyme and dill. I should have put that in there, huh? Oregano is also like antibacterial, antifungal. I think antiviral. I think it's all three of those things. We grow potatoes the best. Greg Anderson, I've grown potatoes once, and I didn't grow that many, just like peanuts. I literally grew like one peanut one time and I picked it too early. And it was just one of those things I was doing experimentally. Whenever I grow something for the first time, usually I just grow a little tiny bit of it. He's in Dublin. Who are you talking about? Who's in Dublin? Any comprehensive herb books recommended? Okay. I just lean towards Booner. I really, really, he's my favorite herbologist, and I'm sure he has more books than these, but this is like my favorite um herbal antibiotics. I'm sorry. Hopefully when I get a new phone, I can do the thing to turn around the words so everything isn't backwards anymore. Booner is his name. Buhner is the author of this. He has the best books. He's a self-taught herbalist himself. He's been doing it for I don't know how many decades now. But he's helped a lot of people with Lyme. Healing Lyme is another one. I personally was never diagnosed with Lyme, but I use Lyme protocols. And I know some people are going to take that as like I'm some kind of histrionic person or something. It's just I had a lot of the same symptoms. I did have a lot of tick bites growing up. I only got tested for it once, and it was while I had like a rash around, like a circle around. It was like inflammation. It wasn't the typical bull's eye rash, but it didn't look good. Like my husband was like, "You need to like show the doctor that." And And what I've been told is that if the sooner you get it after the tick bite, the less reliable it is. And I mean, I got it within like a week of getting the last tick bite, but she put me on 2 weeks of doxycycline. I've been on so many antibiotics. Oh, thank you, Calvin. I let my hair go wild tonight. Oregano oil is supposed to be the bomb. Yes, Harry. Just be very, very careful if you're using the oil. You never used it before. I was dumb with it. The first time I used it, I just like put several drops in a drink and just like, oh, my throat was on fire. But that was when I didn't know what I was doing. And the people with doTERRA, bless their hearts, I know a lot of them are well-intentioned, but I had more people selling doTERRA oils. If you don't know what that is, it's just a big oil company that didn't give proper usage instructions. Didn't say like when to use carrier oil. Like I was using this one blend that like you're supposed to put in carrier oil for like 2 years. But anyways, and they're like, "It's yeah, it is edible. You can use some of it, but then there's other some people would say even if it's technically edible, maybe not, but anyways, I don't know exactly if the oregano oil this is like literal oregano essential oil. I'm pretty sure that the oregano oil they sell at health stores I could be wrong, I need to shut up. I'm pretty sure it's not essential oil. There's a difference between, like, certain oils and the actual essential oils. Hi, Vinny, how are you? And it's get off antibiotics and pharma. Yeah, chill. So when it comes to antibiotics, that's one thing that's like I really do try not to take them, but when it comes to certain things like that tick bite, I was like, yeah, I don't know what you mean by options, Angela. What does that mean? Urine is drinkable, but I wouldn't drink it, Steve said. Pretty vanilla smooth as a flex, Silvio said. And you guys are here we go. But yeah, I think antibiotics have saved more lives than uh most any other modern day anything, but now we need our herbal remedies more than ever because we need the alternatives because the antibiotics aren't working the same. I'll never forget. And one day I was at the playground. It was just like us moms that lived in an apartment complex. There's like just a handful of us, and two of them had the exact same story about the exact same pediatrician that they took their kids in on a well check. The pediatrician looked in the ear and said, "Oh, their ear's a little red. Get these antibiotics and give them these antibiotics." And they were both like, their kid wasn't acting sick at all. When your kid has an earache, usually, and that they were like, that was kind of crazy that she just like threw antibiotics at us for a kid having a red ear. Oh, thank you, Brian. And that was one of those times where like, don't tell me the doctors don't get like kickbacks from writing prescriptions. No, but husband's mom can, and she plays the mouth harp. Oh, that's so cool, Anna. I'm doing good, Dark. How are you? Honey and garlic better than any prescription antibiotics. Yeah, Angela, that is really, really good. I've made that myself and put like cinnamon in there with it. And yes, for sure. I had a cellulitis in my surgery. If you guys don't know what that is, that's a skin infection. That was one of the worst. It wasn't like, okay, it felt like a really bad sunburn or like you're getting a tattoo. Imagine feeling like you're getting a tattoo on your stomach all the time, no matter what you do. That's what it felt like for a few days. So, of course, I took antibiotics for that, which was like really hardcore antibiotics too, because that could have turned septic and like honey and garlic. Oh, I read that. Oh, okay. You put it twice. Yes, you are right. One time when I was dealing with tooth stuff, the dentist I was like, I've been eating garlic every day. And once I told him that, he took me more seriously. And then that's when I really like that dentist, because he's like, well, if you've been doing that and you're still having issues, that's bad. Chip here in the UK, it's morning. Thanks for being more beautiful than the rising morning sun. Chip. Chip, you must be a troll. Thanks, Chip. Um, I hope you have a good day today. We can find our alternatives by growing them ourselves. Yes, and that's what is so exciting. And like, I don't think I conveyed it right because I'm like getting sleepy. But in my edited video, I don't know. I want to try to be like the Steve Irwin of herbs. I get worked up talking about it. It's so exciting. And it's like they hid this from us for a reason. Like they are so incredibly beneficial. And I do believe with all my heart, it's like missing in most people's lives. And not everything, like I mentioned, some things have more nutrient value, at least in some ways, when they're dried. Not everything loses a bunch of value when you dry it. And I just wonder exactly what would be the most beneficial to eat fresh, you know? Like green beans are something that loses a lot of nutrients the longer they have been off the plants. If you have good teeth, just keep seeking a dentist and eat cloves daily. Oh, I like nano hydroxyapatite toothpaste. If your enamel isn't too far gone, if you still have some enamel, if it's completely gone, it's not going to help regrow it. But you can really help like diminished enamel with that, and that's been all I've needed. But I mean, I haven't seen a dentist in years. I should like force myself to go before I'm going because I have to, you know. We've lived in Florida, care to say we're Boston's and you being nosy, honey. Oh, Jason. That's cool. I've lived all over Florida, Jason, and Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Naples. Literally. Hi Lindy, how are you? Take the Lost and Remedies online class. You'll be happy. It's $39. Oh gosh, maybe one day, Anna. What is that exactly? Like who does it? Is that the name of the place is Lost Remedies? I haven't heard of that. Me, I work as a delivery postal driver chip. Oh, good for you. Tallahassee. Oh, that's cool, Jason. That's like one place in Florida I don't believe I've ever been. Don't go with regular toothpaste. Eat cloves for more than oral health. Yeah, chill knows what's up. I used clove oil a lot before well, I didn't always have the paracress, which is that numbing plant I talked about. But clove oil, you need to be careful how much you ingest of it. But I've had a lot of dental issues and bad root canal that resulted in this pretty gnarly tooth extraction. And I had to use clove oil a lot, and it really does work. Hi, Ollie. How are you? I took it as a practice test before my big herbal test for college, and I was impressed she did well. Okay, Anna, if you liked it, I'm sure I could learn from it. That's crazy. I lived in Daytona, Cocoa Beach, and Deltona. Oh, B Weeks, that's funny. That is so funny. I knew I wasn't the only person that's lived. Like all Florida is such a great place. And she has a PhD, the lady that holds the class. Okay, Anna. Thank you for saying that. I think that I need as much help as I can get. And my husband was just like, I was telling him, like, I want to be an herbalist. I really do feel like I would do a good job at it, but I'm nowhere near it. And like, I need to apprentice under somebody. And you know, the National Herbalist Guild, you know, that's like the most legit thing. But then it's still like, it's not really. Oh, I forgot. I have. I'm like moving around. I forgot. I have all these old dish towels. I'm going to put Velcro on. I swear to gosh, tomorrow I'm going to put Velcro on them, honey. My husband wants me to. He didn't ask me to do it. He just like, it'd be cool if these dish towels, like, if all of our dish towels had the Velcro, you could put it on the handle of the oven. And I was like, well, I have Velcro and sewing machine. I can do that. And like a week later, hi Nick, thank you for the flowers. It says, how do you describe loyalty? Ooh, green buildings getting deep. Um, Loyalty. Well, with all the healing I've been doing lately, the first thing that came to mind was to be the most loyal person you can be, you have to have good self-esteem. And when you hold yourself in high self-esteem and you, you know, do unto others, I think that loyalty is like a gift you give people. You can't be super loyal to everybody you meet, you know, and God puts the people in your life that you're supposed to be loyal to. And yep, that's part of what makes this crappy world worth going through with other people. It's way cheaper to live in the Big Bend in that Panhandle area. Anything below Orlando is a bit insane to live in Florida. I bet, Nason, Jason, I looked in Fort Lauderdale. This was 15 years ago. And like 15 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't live there because I lived there when I was like a teenager. I looked into the guild, really want to do it, but there's no big cities near me. Hmm. Are there any online herbalist programs? Oh, B Weeks, there's plenty. There's tons. I hear that Jason Lucky has lived on both coasts. Um, yeah, B, it's like the kind of thing that there's no the National Herbalist Guild is like the most renowned one, but it's still not like you can't be an herbalist unless you're certified through them. It's interesting. Uh, it's really unfortunate. like Anna said, you apprentice under somebody for a year, right? The Lost Remedies program is the best online herbalist class I've seen. There's no such thing as a legal herbalist, only if you do the guild. Joe. Joe Schmo, we're just cracking down on trolls, so I have no idea what your comments were. Actually, now I'm gonna see what your comments were because I want to see. Um, I absolutely agree with you. Housewives have a harder job than men. I work in dentistry. My day ends at 5 p.m. My housewife on call 24/7, being nurses, chefs, accountants, building a house. I don't know. I don't know who. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry about that. Your comments seemed harmless to me. I don't know who blocked Joe or deleted his comments. They didn't block you because maybe because you're just being a little off topic. I need some advice as I got both these girls' numbers. I'm going on a throuple date and never been on one before. Oh, but if you haven't heard, local honey is supposed to be a good way to help your immune system. In a, if you do have environmental allergies, it helps with your allergies. It helps you build immunity to what is in your immediate environment. So, yeah, I think it's great. And I also think that the more, if we all had a goal, myself included, I need to of, like, supporting local farmers, local honeybee keepers. I think I recently bought the Lost Remedies book. B said, "Hey, what do you think about that? So apparently World War III is supposed to start in 4 days. Seen it in the files." No, Fendi, no, I didn't see that. Everybody's seeing all this stuff in the files. All I do is listen to stuff for hours, and what's so funny, all the stuff people tell me to look up. Give me more details than that, Indy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting sleepy. I didn't want to be on here longer than an hour, and it is an hour, but I want to stay on another minute. I want to hear what Fendi's going to say. Oh, you did? Okay. Well, shoot. I'm going to read that as soon as I get off of here. That's true. Raw honey is really good for people with seasonal allergies. Yeah, and honey is just amazing. Honey is good for so many things. It would be a good thing to have on hand. Antibacterial, antifungal, right? Antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. Honey and garlic both are, that's why they're so great together. I have Manuka honey that I got on clearance at Kroger's. Why was I gonna say Target? I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee 15 years ago. Local honey helps with allergies. Oh, cool, B. That's so funny. So you lived in Florida and then you moved. That's so funny. I'm from Kentucky, so like I lived in Kentucky and Indiana before Florida. Um, yeah, but I couldn't imagine. Well, like so and so said, I am so bad with names. I have to see you 15 million times. Jason said, anything below the panhandle, I bet, is too expensive. Oh my goodness. I'm sleepy too, Anna. I hope you get some good sleep, girl. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. I don't know if I'm gonna be on here tomorrow night. I really have the goal of getting this video filmed and edited and uploaded. And then we're gonna have the next video is gonna be like just general seeds I recommend for just a what I'm gonna call a survival garden. They call me the biggest potato man of the East, Greg. I grew potatoes from seeds. Have you ever done that, Greg? Did you even know that they have potato seeds? Because I didn't know that was even possible until botanical interests started selling them. And they were good, but I didn't know, like, to let them cure. And I know it's called new potatoes, like when you eat potatoes as soon as you dig them up, right? But I didn't really like them that much. Um, Fendi, what you said about you said that you sent me the World War III starting in 4 days. Okay, so Sheila Noor, guys. Okay, now I'm gonna get re-energized talking about this. I keep saying I'm gonna go. She's one of my favorite people as far as what is going on. If you're not interested in the Epstein files, I'm sorry, that's what I'm talking about right now. But she was talking about she's she's very smart and she's catching on to a lot of things. It's like she could be a detective. I 100% love living here. We have 12 acres out northwest in the country. Good for you, B. Oh, good for you. We have 1 acre. And before this, we owned 23, and then we moved because we ran out of money. But we would love to get on like 10. Like 10 would be enough, you know that. But that's nice. I'm glad. Uh, Sheila is connecting dots with certain things. I'm just going to give you one example. I'm not going to talk about it for a long time, but she has a great channel. notice there was a file in the Epstein documents that was talking about how Dan Schneider was about to get taken by the cops. He was gonna get arrested. You know who Dan Schneider is? He's this Nickelodeon executive who's, like, known to be a creep. Supposedly, he has, like, a foot fetish. He's just a really creepy guy, and people that have grown up, were and child actors grew up and talked about him. And that was it. There's, like, absolutely no mention of Dan Schneider at all, like, other than, like, things like where maybe somebody they're sending a link to a movie he made, but there's no him going to Epstein's island, him talking to Epstein or his assistant talking to Epstein, anything like that. It's just, like, this evidence that they were like, "We're onto you because of, like, Epstein stuff." That's why it was in the Epstein files, but they're so apparently, this is what I'm taking too long to make the point. They're scrubbing stuff. Which we know, like, duh, they have to be. Why wouldn't they be? What would be the point of taking as long as they did if they weren't manipulating? Like, I don't believe that they're giving us all the truth just redacted, you know? So it's like, who knows? Who knows? We have a Great Dane mixed with no mule. Oh my gosh, Anna has 2 donkeys. She just told me that the other night. I didn't know. I love donkeys so much. Donkeys, whenever I see, and I don't know the difference between a donkey and a mule, but like whenever I see one or the other, whatever they are, they just make me happy. There's no way to tell it's true and what's not at this point. Two different administrations have had these for how long? Yeah, the Chaz, you're right. I think that we won't. And then whenever somebody's name, it's like they're trying to, like, make an example out of somebody, or I wouldn't doubt it if, like, our own CIA, in my opinion, is, like, going around extorting people, and it's like, "Give me a bunch of money." "Oh, you don't have it? Well, then we're not gonna redact your name." Like, I would totally wouldn't doubt that, and it's really crazy. "Damn, girl, I wish you would tell me you have 2 donkeys." That's how I felt. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Oh, awesome, Fendi. I'm glad. I will get back to you. I have an appointment, but it's just for my car, so hopefully I'll have time. You know, you know how that goes. Thanks for the streams and positivities. Oh, I hope so. I really feel for Homer. Homer dude's going through it. But whatever everybody's going through, if you have a garden to look forward to, if you don't garden, you're just interested in it, I highly recommend starting with some of these herbal plants. Well, okay, marshmallow isn't small and compact. A lot of them are smaller plants, and you just take a little tiny bit to make in tea, even if it takes a while for the plant to get going. You don't need that much of it to use, the Chaz. Thank you for the thumbs up. And thank you, Hash Brown Dave. I don't Okay. But if I screw up on a couple of dollars or make a year, I go to jail, but they can do all this and nothing happens. There's some type of disparity there. Right. Right. And okay, see, I can't stop. One of my favorite YouTubers, Cheer Denise, I love her. She's one of these people I started watching because she was talking like about, she's like a classy tabloid. She was talking about like Meghan Markle drama or something like that. She is Christian. Oh, another dish tout. She is really eloquent speaker. Like I want to be like her when I grow up. She's like one of those women when I watch her, I'm like, oh, I wish I could be like as eloquent as her. And she did a great hour-long video about the Epstein files, basically going into like the satanic panic stuff, talking about how like we've known all this. Like we've known all of the people have been out there talking about all of this for decades, literal decades. There are people on the Oprah show, people on Phil Donahue talking about the exact same things that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this in these files. And it is true. And like I loved it. I thought it was great. It is worth watching the hour-long thing. She did a great job going over like how many times or the populace of our country has been told that these things happen, especially when it comes to these like elite crowds, upper class, whatever you want to call it. And but then she was like, basically like stop. Who cares about the Epstein files? Cheer Denise. Cheer Cheere Denise. That's the name of her YouTube channel. She does like book reviews. She doesn't talk about Christianity a ton. If you don't, she's not somebody that like shoves her religion down your throat at all. So I don't want to make it come off like that. That's what I like about her so much. She's not shy to bring it up though. But for her, it just kinda like I didn't leave a comment or anything because it was such a great video, and I don't wanna be like a naysayer, but I do think it's important. I do think we need to keep in mind that these people have the most power and the most capital and the most access. And yeah, we absolutely should continue. I mean, I'm disappointed and I'm disappointed myself. I wish we weren't like, I wish we were in the streets protesting, demanding that something happens, demanding that more justice is done. Nutmeg is not the issue here, Ronald Reagan said, Nick. Phil Donahue had some great interviews. Yes, Hash Brown. Really, there's nobody like him anymore. Like Oprah wasn't a good interviewer. She just wasn't, but Phil was. And Sally Jesse, I watch old Sally Jesse clips sometimes. I really miss that. Damn, I wish I had some tamales crowned. That does sound good. After watching that Epstein interview where he said he was calling the U.S. Treasury from jail, I'm not convinced he's dead. He's too smart. He left the way out. The Chaz. Oh, are you talking about, was it Steve Bannon? I mean, that's the only one, right? Is there I didn't see that. Him talking about seeing the devil when he looks in the mirror. I think so how am I supposed to say that? Is it hero, like hero, Gyro, right? I mean, the candy's raven's not the food. Oh, hot tamales. Oh, yeah. Thanks for saying that because for some how did you know I was thinking he meant actual like corn husk tamales? No, I'm not the wee woo girl. Dr. Phil, do you like Adam Ray's impersonations? Amaru said. Fendi, that shit is crazy. I guess they were talking if World War III is still going to be planned for February 8th, 2026, and the email is from 2018. Okay. Well, wow. I'm so glad you brought that up, Fendi. Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild. And then that would make sense that they would release it a few days before freaking Satanists. And I was thinking, and this is something that Cheer said, I gotta like it is true. It's like they don't talk shit about any like these Satanists, these evil people, they don't rag on anybody but Jesus and Christianity. And I do that makes me want to consider being a Christian more than any Christian proselytizing to me. I know that sounds really bad in a way, but it's just like it is so true that the most evil people in the world, they don't spend their time making fun of like Muhammad or Krishna. They're like so focused on tearing down Jesus and Christianity. And I do think that that's interesting. And I say it, I don't believe in the devil, but I don't know everything. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just look at it all as like bad, like, demons. When I say demons, I mean just like evil, bad energy. There's good and bad. There's that duality all the time. It's intriguing, but he's smart AF. So there was also Sheila Noor. There was emails, once again, we don't know from who, writing Jeffrey Epstein talking about how a fuel tank was going to explode tomorrow at like 9 p.m. And then it did happen at like 8 p.m. It happened within 2 hours of them saying it was going to happen. And then this was in Detroit, Michigan, and Epstein like started going to Detroit a lot after that. And it just makes you think how many horrible things. I don't think 911 was what they say it was. I don't. And especially that third building collapsing and like how many things have happened and it makes it more tragic in a way. Some people hear that and they think that you're somehow no, that makes it worse. That makes it worse that people's lives were lost, that it was literally manipulated to change all of our realities and make us all less okay with having less privacy and being spied on because of, national security. Ellen DeGeneres runs to the UK. Who runs there, Greg's? Who runs there? That's pretty funny. Yeah, she was selling pillows on Wayfair for $11,000, right? Didn't she move not too long after that? Mm. Or was it just people talking about how horrible of a person she is, and she knew her show wouldn't do well? It does sound bad. I feel the same way about Christianity, and I'm Christian. Oh, the Chaz. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I say that kind of, you know, sarcastically, but it's also kind of true. It doesn't. But I mean that like I know I should actually study the Bible and not just be like I'm a Christian now. I decided to because of that thing I heard. You know what I mean? But it prompts me to think more seriously about like Wow, we are in the end of times. There is so much truth in the Bible. I mean, that's undeniable. And 1111 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Well, you guys, they definitely won't say anything about Islam because they know that's going to happen. And since Christians like to be so docile, they feel it won't be any consequences for disrespect and blasphemy. Oh, that's a good point, Fendi. And just, did you guys see? Okay, I had. There was a bioterrorist lab. Thank you, B. That doesn't sound good at all. Every religion mentions Jesus as a prophet, teacher, or a noble man. Keep in mind, even the devil believes in Jesus. Yeah, right. Good points, B. I mentioned in my last live there was this guy that was found. They call it like a bioterrorism. There's more details that I thought was super interesting. Listen to this. So this guy who's no person, and from it. I don't think all no people are bad. I just feel like I can't even say that. And he owned a bunch of Airbnbs. And in one of these Airbnbs in the garage of is he's keeping these chemicals. And a lot of people have been sick. Somebody that was a housekeeper for the house that had the chemical lab called it in as a tip and was like, people that have lived in this house have been sick. So I take it, people that have rented Airbnbs. So I think everybody should know, PSA, if you stay in an Airbnb and they're like, you're not allowed to go out into the garage, first of all, as much as they charge for these things, I think that's kind of crazy when they do stuff like that. I understand if it's this big sprawling house and you have the basement locked up or something, but I don't know, especially because of like fire hazards and emergencies. I just think you should have access to the garage. But even if it's like no basement, you start to feel like it's just something to keep in mind that's important. And listen to this. This man was a no man who was, it was like his partner was this person from China named Jew. You can't make this. It was a Jew with a Chinese partner named Jew. And he's been caught and he's out of jail already. They just let him tra la la go, go do it some more, go cover up your tracks or something. It's just crazy. But yeah, if one of us got caught with like, some weed, we'd probably be in jail for a week because we don't have the money to get bailed out. And I seen Biolab, they didn't stop it until after pandemic. Good luck, kids. It's crazy. Jewish people, Justin. And I say no, not meaning that I am against all Jewish people. I say no because they censor, like, they don't want you to even talk about them at all because they're a special class of citizen now, apparently, with anti speech laws. The only people that are a religion and a race. And there is something to that. I'm sorry, there is. But once again, I'm talking about like the Zionists, the uh, mm, I rented a house, they wouldn't allow me into the garage, I went in there and it was full of black mold. Oh, Nick, that's awful. Oh, it makes me so mad to think about what people go through with rentals. Hi, John, how are you doing? Mm, I saw a clip where it was a empty house that a pipe had burst and literally the whole first story was ice and it didn't show the inside. It was just ice coming out of the windows. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, that's my sign to go because I have a low battery. And I'm glad I got to hop on here and practice because when I do an edited video, I have to like, say the same thing 10 times before it, and this is like my first take on that. Even though I'm not going to film it right now, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I used probably a gallon of bleach in that house, Boston. You could have used Benefects. So the World War III emails had mentioned something about Bill being invested. Oh my gosh. I really wish we had a cave on our property. I don't know, that might not be a good smart place to go hide in though. Bleach doesn't kill mold. Ale, if you weren't in here earlier, I brought up a Benefect is the only EPA approved botanical detergent cleaner that's been approved to kill mold. Just so everybody knows. I just think everybody should know about Benefect. And thyme oil is amazing. It really is. But I'm glad someone mentioned oregano because really, this should be a 12, and oregano should be in the list, really. But I hope everybody, thank you so much, B. Like I said, I'm a little all over the place and I do cuss. I just want to like, disclaimers. I'm trying to cuss less because I know like when I rewatch my stuff or if I'm trying to clip it, I'm like, I cuss a little too much. Benefect, Benefect. Benefect. like benefact without an A and E instead. I drink oregano oil. Oh yeah, ale. I've heard that's great for you. Um, I got something from a health food store, and that's what it was like. Oregano oil isn't oregano essential oil, right? Yes, that's how you spell it, Nick. Yes. And it is expensive, but I'm telling you, if you have like a mold issue to mitigate or something like that, it really is, if you can afford it. I know most of us can't afford life right now, let alone a $20 gallon of cleaner. They said a few weeks ago, NVIDIA and TerraPower, which is owned by Bill Gates, and I think it's nuclear. Well, thank you. Good luck, kids. Just keep in mind, guys, just whatever happens, it could be holograms in the sky. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to believe it until I see it and then it actually does something to me. I just think that they're going to try to psych us out, like Project Bluebeam or something, um, anyways, they invested in the company. Well, thank you for saying all this, Fendi. I'll write you back, but you have helped me a lot more with my content than you realize, I think. Greg said, Boston, that's smart. I hope everybody has a great night. And if it is the end of the world, it was nice knowing you. Or hold on, you said the 8th. You know about Project Blue Beam? Yeah, I think that the way that they're letting us know about the aliens, yeah, Fendi, like the stuff you sent me, like I told you, is like I steered my channel because of this, the aha moments I had because of some of the stuff you sent me. I was like, I'm gonna start talking about prepping, and I do have gray hairs. Look, if you're talking about me, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just gonna let my hair go because I don't want it's you should look it up original. It's like a planned uh uh they're like gonna mock an alien and oh I'm sorry, invasion. But let me know what you think when you look at the file pics. Yes, I will, Fendi. Thanks, honey. Sounds like 1990, just different names. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. I really am going to go now. And I really, really appreciate you guys for talking. Thanks for all the information. Oh, thank you for staying. I'm going to keep having videos like this and just wait till we can like be in the garden together. It's going to be so much fun. I love you guys. Good night.